And what is up, guys? It's your boy Allu here, back again with some more ALR action. Tonight we're with Tier 3 and we're heading towards the Circuit Barcelona Catalunya in Spain. And seems that we're missing quite a few people still, so we're waiting. We should be 18 strong, but only 12 drivers as of yet. Perhaps the most notable new driver we have is X-Robin, an ex-league and tier mate of mine. He's making his debut today here in Tier 3. I expect him to be amongst the front runners with Sven, who I think we are missing, and Ishtar, who did his Tier 2 debut earlier this week. But anyways, I expect X-Robin to be contesting for the win. Other than that, it would seem that we have all the familiar guys here. And Samet fan club has seemingly made it to the chat. Samet had plenty of bad luck last time out when we were racing at France. Had a few spins and tumbles. And looks like we're starting with 13 drivers only. Oh, you think? I mean, every person that has driven in F1 23 or the earlier installations know that it's frustrating to have a bad sequence of mistakes. But safety car is always a factor. You shouldn't lose your head. You can always climb back to it. I've been in. I can safely say that I've been in more of 20 races where I have like spun or had damage early on, and then with the late safety car managed to climb back onto the points as we look to have a dry session. At least in the quali, but what about the race? I personally missed the race on Thursday. I've never been that good at Spain anyway, so. The reports are in. There's potential rain halfway throughout the race, I believe. Changing conditions can always mix it up. As the first car around the track seems to be a Mercedes. Yeah, Cohen. I mean, I personally dig the new layout as well, but I still did miss the race because I was seeing a show as X-Robin takes to the Barcelona track first. As we all know, at least if you follow F1, this is the track that all the teams use for testing. Really brutal on tires. I personally, in an earlier game, in a league race. I have suffered a puncture on the last lap and lost the win because of that. Anyways, a lot of high-speed corners which really take the best out of your tires. I don't believe we are gonna see the softs in the race here. As Robin makes his way through on his outlap towards the renewed third sector. First, which used to be a hairpin, but now I think it's more of a corner. And then with the second to last corner, luckily the chicane isn't there, you can go flat, then just a slight lift, and onto the main straight we go, and Robin starts his lap here. You really need to attack the first 3 corners in order to get around the first sector fast. And Robin is looking smooth there. Round turn 3, you really need to get the power down there. It's all about the maximum speed as into turn 4. Also, you need to get the power down as early as possible. And down the second gear for the left-hander. In the earlier games, this corner sequence, the chicane, the left and the right have been really tricky and cost a lot of spins in the past. As Robin is seemingly making his way pretty neatly. Purple in the second sector, but that's only because he's the first car. At least for now. Then the power down and to really attack the very extremely fast right-hander, double right-hander here. To go onto the main straight, and Robin with the first timed lap is an 11.9. To be completely honest with you, I'm not really sure how competitive that is, as Samet goes 12.4 and O'Leary with 13.2, so the gaps are pretty spread out. Major just able to nick the third position from him with 13.1, and Benny with a 12.7. Red Bull of Charizard crossed the line with a 13.3. Slowest of the cars to have a lap in thus far. Here's Pointers now, really attacking the third sector. Let's see what he can do. It seems that the 11.9, which Robin managed to set, is fairly competitive here at the early stages, as Pointers goes fourth with a 13.0, but still a full second behind the leader. Here's Gronek, cross the line, goes third with a 12.6. So Robin with a close to a half a second lead after the first runs, but let's see them through. Here's Pasty, who's invalid. Tichy the next car round in the Aston Martin. Gets the power down. Nice and tidy. Really using all the space on the track. Drops a gear, not optimal, but Titch is still across the line, able to set a 13.5. Here's Osvaldo. My bold prediction this time out would be that Robin, Samet and Osvaldo are gonna settle the podium, but in which order? We're gonna see. As Osvaldo runs the final corner, cross the line with the 13.2, goes 7th fastest. There might have been some mistake there, as I believe that's all of our first rounds. TG is continuing on but doesn't have any ERS left, so we're gonna have a brief break as there's no cars out on laps at this time. Or is Grona maybe? No, he's left. And the drivers are slowly but surely starting their second runs. We're gonna hop on board with Major, who actually led quite a chunk of the last race around France. And did a monster stint on the mediums to finish a nice podium there. With Easter, of course, with the 2 wins leading the championship, but I believe he either has or is about to move up tiers. He's already raced in tier 2 and tier 1 races. And rightfully so. Well, I don't think Major remembered to switch on his ERS there, bro. I think he finally might have, but no, he hasn't. And that's probably the end of his run. We're gonna hop on with Robin's teammate, Pasty. The second Mercedes. There might have been a slight moment with the rear there, as there is now the slower moving Haas on the way. Yeah, that happens, Benny. But were you able to get back in here? Didn't see you joining. As Robin sets the new fastest lap, just improves by 200s to further solidify his provisional pole time of 11.9. It's now 11.922. As here's Pasty now, able to set his first lap of the session, runs the final corner, and across the line with a 13.2, goes 9th fastest. As I believe the next car is a Ferrari of Samet. Let's see. He hasn't also turned on his ERS, or he's completely spent it all, but is able to manage a great lap time to really get close to Robin within a tenth, just 6/100ths short of ex-Robin's provisional pole time. So I believe that during the last runs we're gonna have a fight for the pole. As here's Tichy, who's on an outlap. Here's Pointers, also seeming to manage an improvement. Around the final corner he goes. Pointer 70 Tigers, cross the line with a 12.8. Is able to go 7th and just past his teammate, who is the next car coming around the circuit Barcelona, Catalonia. I feel like my the ERS light has been bugged somehow because or O'Leary is just spent. As here's Major, who's seemingly not improving on his time, crosses the line and does not, stays 10th. Let's see now. Next car round seems to be the Ferrari of Klaus. But he's nowhere near, and he's gonna pull into the pits. And so does Charizard, as Klaus has had an incident. He has hit the pit barrier. Probably understeered off and hit the wall there. And that's the end of his qualifying. He's gonna stay 6th or lower. As here's Osvaldo now, looking to improve on his position. First lap probably not a success, as Osvaldo has shown some good pizza pace during the first two runs of this tier 2 season. Major ahead of there, makes way very nicely. And there's a good 4/10 improvement on the way, which would take him somewhere around 5th or 6th. Let's see if he can keep it together across the third sector. As Osvaldo Romeo comes around the final corner. And across the line, just a single tenth improvement and doesn't improve on his position at this moment in time. Benny's on a lap. Oh, has a moment with the rear tear there, and that might be the end of his run. He's still gonna take this across the line as he runs the final corner. DRS wide open, and across the line, no improvement there. Benny stays fifth. So our provisional pole sitter, Robin, starts his, what I believe is going to be his final run. With Barcelona being so physical on the tires, I don't think you can do 2 runs, even though you would do a cool down lap there in between. No improvement run at the first sector. And Samet has also started a lap behind him. Jaakko, and exactly this. Samet has really surprised me there with his quali pace. I hope he can take the fight to Robin here. There's a slow moving Williams on the way. Pulls out of there nicely. Onto the back straight. DRS open. And Robin is not improving on his time. What I would do in such a position, I would lift immediately unless I knew I left a second or something lying around there. But seems that Robin is still gonna push to the line. Our provisional pole sitter in the Mercedes, ex-Robin, is able to do 12.0, a tenth slower than his original fastest one. Samet, right on par with his earlier fast time of 11.9 as well. Let's see if he's found something at the third sector. Runs the final corner, DRS open. Samet Turkmen improves but stays second. A marginal improvement there for Samet. The two fastest drivers here really going for it. Now let's see if they still have enough fuel in their tanks. And the reload is enough, as Pasty is invalid. Black Charizard on a lap. 2/10 improvement in the first sector only, so there is surely more to be found. Up, and Osvaldo's decided to call it quits in the pits. Charizard now with a near 4/10 improvement. Has he found something more? With this pace he could go 7th or higher even. Charizard, DRS open, cross the line to go 5th with a 12.7. Nice improvement from him. And still time for the final run though. Let's see who else is there on a lap. Pointers has just started his lap. Major, I think. Yeah, Major is managing a 2/10 improvement. Rounding the double right-hander. Let's see what he can do. There's still positions to be taken. Major crosses the line to go 6th fastest with a 12.7. Midfield very highly contested, as Pasty has also called it quits. No time to get back out there and do another lap. Charizard not on a lap. Neither is Pointers or his teammate O'Leary. I think he is. Yes, he is, but let's see. Jay O'Leary heads on to the pits, and I believe there won't be enough time to make the final run. What about Abmo then? Right on par with his fastest time. Also pulls into the pits. There's only minute and 20 seconds, so this might be the end of qualify here, as Grone crosses the line to go fourth, just improves on his position with a 12.5. Right past Pointers, who has no time to get back out there to improve on his time. Major has also headed onto the pits. This has been a bit of a weird quali, as I see rain. That is the reason drivers are pulling into the pits, and I think that might be it. That might be it. There is no really happening on the track. Benny had a 2/10 improvement, but has managed to spin right after that. Titch is still trying to improve his position, and Robin has also started a lap with 30 seconds remaining on the clock. The conditions are looking to deteriorate very quickly, and Titch has been so slow. Plus there, he's not gonna improve on his time. And neither is Grone. So Robin is just gonna take the lap of honor here. Celebrate his comeback to tier 3 and to celebrate with style, as I believe he is gonna be sitting on the pole to start the race. Clock has reached zeros and nobody really on a lap apart from Robin. So I believe that is it. During the second run, Summit really looked he could challenge Robin there for the pole, but wasn't quite enough at the end. Yeah, there's nothing doing on those conditions, and Robin will cross the line, the pole sitter in the number 69 car. And that'll do it. So here's your starting grid order. X-Robin with Summit really close behind. Just 400 separating the two drivers. Pick up the first row positions. Behind it then Abmo, Grone, Pointers, Major, Charizard, Benny, Claus and Jay O'Leary runs out the top 10. Behind them Tichy, Oswaldo and Pasty. To be honest, I'm a bit shocked of Oswaldo's pace. Maybe Spain isn't the most suiting race for him. We don't know, Cohen. It's ALR. Anything might happen. Rogue safety car, clever strategy with the possible rain. Literally anything can happen. But if that quali base is something to go for, he shouldn't have the pace to get the podium. As the race is slowly drawing closer to the start, we seem to be starting at least in the dry conditions. Possible rain in the midway throughout. As the formation lap is on, they fixed it in the latest patch, so we get some time to get familiarized with the strategies. Not a lot of variation there. Most of the drivers starting on mediums apart from Pointers, Benny, Jay O'Leary and Pasty. Interestingly, the Williams pairing both starting on the same strategy. My prediction is that Robin's got this in the bag. Summit is going to be close behind, and if there isn't some collisions or anything else terrible, this is going to be... The top two are going to stay as is. That's my prediction. Behind them anything can happen, as here's the possible race strategies, but I do believe that the mediums to hards and the hards to mediums are going to be the fastest ones. For sure, Cohen. I mean, very long run into turn one. A good start can really pick you up on multiple positions here. If I recall correctly, the grid is pretty tightly bunched up together. I mean, the track isn't all that wide at the starting grid, so not a lot of space to overtake. But still, a good start here can take you up places. It's not like in, say, Monaco, which we are going to visit in the ALR later this season, by the way, but in Monaco you can basically just overtake the car next to you if you're not starting at the front. As the drivers are lining up to take their grid slots, Mercedes in the first and the last position in the grid. And there is a disqualification. I cannot see the lights, but I can sure hear them. 5 red lights, and away they go. Summit, I think, got the better start right from the get-go. No, X-Robin is able to retain his lead, at least going into turn 1, with Summit and Abmo slotting behind him. Let's see, everyone seemingly getting away cleanly. There's plenty of battles going on at the lower positions. Klaus losing a whole heap of positions there at the start. Hopefully there's no damage to his name. As the top 4, I believe, have stayed as is. Major got a great start, I think. Oh, and there's been a moment with Grona, and Major says thank you very much, and so does Benny, looking to the inside. Grona and Benny going side by side, but Grona still retaining his 5th position. Doesn't have to lose all that much right in the get-go. There was some kind of moment. Maybe he lost the rear around, I believe that is turn 7 or 8, I don't know. As Robin is leading the pack through the first lap, with Summit and Abmo following behind. The gaps are all weird, so I'm not gonna look at that, and I'm just gonna focus on what I see. Oh, Grona again with the rear. Is there some kind of rear wing damage or something? I don't know, but Grona is definitely struggling for a rear grip. As Benny momentarily gets past him, but Grona switches back and takes his position back. In the process, as there's more fighting behind. Klaus, Charizard and Pointers really close together there. Momentarily, I think they went side by side. Positions staying as they are as of now. As we're about to start the 3rd lap of the Spanish Grand Prix. With Robin still in the lead, gap being under that 1 second, so once the DRS comes alive, which I believe is this lap, Summit might come knocking. There it is, DRS enabled. The top 4 have pulled off a bit, but Grona is holding a bit of a train here ahead of Benny and Tichy. After those 2 moments with the rear. Hopefully nothing damage related. I mean, I've done some ranked, and in the ranked races I've done, on some I've gotten rear wing damage, and the car basically becomes undrivable once you get that rear wing damage. Let's see now. Summit, within 5/10 of the leader, is able to open DRS. Going to the main straight, I think Robin might have a contest in his hands. Ferrari of Summit. Summit's been very unlucky through the first two races. DRS wide open. Let's see if he has the gap. 7/10 is quite a long gap, and Summit is not deploying his ERS, so he's not gonna try and go for a move just yet. Neither is Benny on Gröna, but the gaps have indeed gotten a bit smaller. Here's Klaus trying to chase down pointers. Very close behind. Only a 10 separating the two drivers. But nothing doing, at least not yet. Jay O'Leary has dropped a couple of positions as well, down in 12. Let's see the positions change here, as TG has had a great start, gaining 4 positions, whereas the great loser has been pointers. But still, plenty of race to go. Anything can happen, and if the rain is in the forecast, even more so, as Klaus has had a bit of a moment there, allowing Charizard to get close, but they're in the DRS train. Nothing doing really. As Abmo, I believe, has managed to cut the DRS to Major behind, and is able to open the DRS himself. Summit still not deploying any ERS and wisely retaining the gap. I believe he might be just trying to hang back and save his ERS, but so is Robin. Cleverly, Robin playing the ERS chess to not deploy too much as Klaus. And Charizard in a battle. Charizard able to get past Klaus, I believe. With Osvaldo not far behind. A bit of a gear shift mistake there from Klaus, and Osvaldo says thank you very much, and he's up to 10. Really close train all the way from, I believe that is Benny. In the hard tires. Oh, and there's been a moment with Charizard. And a 3-car battle. Osvaldo taps Charizard, and so does Pointers. With Osvaldo momentarily being the loser here, as Klaus has clawed his way back into this. Oh, and Charizard has the lift, and Klaus goes over the track limits and is the first driver penalized. As Summit has now made a move for the lead. So Summit, your new race leader. Sorry I missed that, I was too caught up in the 4-car battle, which is still raging on, as Klaus is able to go past Pointers. But Charizard and Osvaldo still behind Pointers here, looking to make positions. Sorry I missed the move for the lead. As here comes Charizard on the inside on Pointers, wheel to wheel the two drivers go, and Pointers left, and that's a position for Charizard, at least momentarily. But let's see now, Robin, his turn to be the chaser, has the DRS advantage. Abmo has dropped down a bit, 1.5 seconds behind of the lead pair. Whereas Benny is chasing Major on the hard tire, only 5 laps behind them, and the mediums shouldn't deteriorate just yet. But let's see. Robin now, able to open DRS on Summit. Is deploying his ERS, or at least momentarily was. Summit has the new fastest lap of 15.6. As here comes Robin, down to the braking of turn 1. On the inside line, side by side the two drivers go. And Robin is able to take the lead back, as there's a massive battle here in the lower top 10s. Tichy going past Major, and Major already flashing on ERS as Grone goes for a move on the inside of Major. Plenty of position changes and overtakes early on, as Charizard has now dropped back a bit from this train. Grone now trying to chase Tichy. Still seemingly a pretty slippery rear end. As we're gonna head back onto the main straight, Summit still rampantly chasing Robin, is able to open ERS, and 4/10 gap shouldn't be too big for a move. Summit Turkman on X-Robin, and the lead changes hands once more. Well, and here's also a fight between Major and Grone, but Major, at least for now, retaining his position. Major already out of ERS, that Haas is screaming in agony. Oh! And there has been a challenge from Robin to the turn 3 braking, and seemingly has made it work. Summit back down to B2, and there's been a yellow flag. That is Pasty, that is the teammate of the current race leader. His race really not starting the way he would have wanted, and it's now 12. I mean 14 seconds behind the lead pack. Let's see now, these guys are still going at it. The two Red Bulls of Grone and Charizard right on top of each other, with Major doing the pulling on this train. DRS is gonna come alive. The lead pair are also fighting, but let's see this for a change. Major trying to break the slipstream, and Robin seemingly retaining his lead for now. And the two Red Bulls both get clear of the Haas, as here's Osvaldo trying as a clause and makes it work. 5 cars involved in this massive battle. Oh, and there's a moment with Major. Osvaldo luckily can slam the brakes in time, and Claus says thank you on the inside, but Osvaldo holding on strongly on the outside line, and Osvaldo retains that P8. The two Red Bulls now going at it each other. It's really a pandemonium free for all. From literally from P6 to P12. No position changes on the back straight. Grone with a bit of a loose back end there. I believe he might have sacrificed. He's gone for an oversteer heavy setup, as Major has tumbled down the order, down to 11th already. Is it due to that ERS overconsumption? That I don't know. DRS wide open, looking to get back past pointers to the inside line, and is able to make it thick. Meanwhile, Osvaldo has caught up with the Red Bulls, with Charizard being the lead Red Bull for now. At the top, Robin seemingly has managed to break the DRS toe to behind, and that is absolutely crucial if he wishes to retain that lead. Otherwise they would have changed positions all the time. But Osvaldo makes a move past Grone, who's had a mistake, but Grone with the DRS and I believe ERS assistance looks to the outside line. But Osvaldo covers it up, and yet again Grone has some issues with the rear end. Hopefully didn't cause any damage to Claus there. As the gaps have seemingly widened up a bit, for now at least. Rone getting closer to Osvaldo, but no move just yet. Pointers makes it move, makes it work past Major, who has really tumbled down the order in the opening 10 laps. Klaus and Rone are going at it. Wheel to wheel, the two drivers go. Ferrari against the Red Bull. Rone is still trying to retain the inside line. Forces Klaus off. That was a bit naughty, but is able to retain the position, at least for now. Rone really didn't leave any space to Klaus there. Klaus with the DRS, but the back straight is just way too short. And yet again Rone displaying some of his drift skills. I know that Red Bull driver Max Verstappen was in a sort of a drift challenge video, but that car is not for drifting. Klaus really close to Rone now. Let's see with the DRS assistance. Rone trying to break the toe, isn't able to open his wing. Klaus looking to the inside, but Rone has blown away all of his ERS and is now looking at the rear end of Osvaldo. Meanwhile, Benny's tires, I believe, have really come to life as Abmo goes a bit wide there, and Benny is actually in the range of DRS. So the medium runners should be looking into pitting relatively soon, in what I believe is going to be a maximum of 3 laps time. I believe Benny won't have enough of a gap, and he hasn't got enough ERS to really think of anything. Here's Rone. Should be a relatively easy move past Osvaldo. Osvaldo goes defensive, but that DRS being way too powerful. Osvaldo tries to hang it on the inside, but isn't quite able to do so. Osvaldo trying to get it right back, but isn't able to do so. Benny's still chasing Abmo. I believe we might have a fight for third in the near future, but let's focus on the closest battle at hand. As here comes Osvaldo now. Should be close enough, even though the straight is relatively short. Looks to the inside, goes for the move. A bit of a dive past Krone, but is able to make it work there at the end, as Krone is still struggling with the rear end. Meanwhile, Summit has also picked up the pace just enough to get within the DRS of Summit, and the first car to pit is Osvaldo. Osvaldo is looking for the undercut as Benny has made the move I anticipated past Abmo on the hard tires, which should be now working better than the medium tires. So here's where the interesting pit bit comes, the crossover period. When do the drivers come in to change tires? Osvaldo and Major have already opted to do so. First two cars to do so, both medium runners. There's no real battles going on at this time, so let's take a look at the lead driver, ex-Robin. Samet is able to hang around in his DRS, probably to save his battery, but Robin is hella quick, and Robin heads onto the pits. Samet stays out, so Robin opting for the undercut. Samet staying out and inherits the lead of the Spanish Grand Prix, at least for now. And Robin into the hard tires. I don't know if people are waiting for a safety car or something. Let's see where Robin rejoins. I believe it's gonna be a plenty of free air behind the Williams. Williams pairing of Pointers and Leary. Now just need to get the hearts to temperature really quick, because Summit has also had some serious pace here. Oswaldo has made it past Pasty at the back, as he should with new tires against the old. Klaus gets the second track limit penalty, the only driver to get that, at least for now. Really needs to be careful with that. 6 seconds is already. If there's a late safety car, he can say bye-bye to the points. Let's see now. Summit should be looking into pitting, and he is. Because otherwise he's gonna get heavily undercut by Robin. Now needs to be careful not to speed into the pit lane. And does not do so. So Benny and Abmo, your new lead pairing. Charizard also into the pits. And slowly but surely all the drivers are now heading into the harder compound, as they should, because it's nearly the halfway point of the race. And you really cannot hang around with the medium tires long enough to look at the soft tire. But Klaus, interestingly, is looking into picking the soft tire. I mean, sure, yeah, I don't have the same weather info as the guys currently in the cars. Then it would make sense if there's a rain coming for sure, but it's ALR and the settings are so that the forecast is on approximate, so I've been in plenty of races where rain was forecast, but there was no rain in the end. It's a gamble. But Summit has rejoined behind Robin, and a good chunk of 4.5 seconds. Robin has really come out the gates flying. Zabmo, the next driver to pit, and Tichiboom follows suit. And so does Grona, so all the medium runners have now switched tires. And here's the Williams pairing Leary and Pointers, ex-Robin with the new fastest lap, 15.6. And the Williams swap places. They need to be careful in order for Robin to attack. Looks to the inside of Pointers and gets a free position there. And now is able to really attack O'Leary. But with the worn tires, it's really not an issue for the Mercedes driver, and Robin already up to second. It's awfully looking like Robin's race, this. Pasty now with the age-old hard tires trying to defend against Grona. But really should be nothing doing. With the tires having so much age in them already. So here's Grona, Major, your second driver to be penalized for track limits. Run around the outside, a relatively straightforward move in the end. And Robin is just hammering away with the fastest laps, the new one being 15.1. And seemingly, for what I can count, the Summit gap to Robin has stayed as it is after pitting. But the undercut really proved fruitless to Robin, making a second gap to a 5-second cap is Klaus. Interestingly, with the soft tires, of course, picks the new fastest lap of the race. As the hard runners also should be looking into pitting sometime soon. And he's losing time to Robin, almost 2 seconds a lap, and here's Benny now pitting. Let's see where he rejoins. to what I believe will be behind Abmo. Especially if the undercut is so powerful, which we saw Robin pull. There's Summit now, looking to attack pointers, but he doesn't really put up any of a fight. And Summit now up to third. Should be looking for a solid P2 finishes. Benny has just rejoined ahead of Abmo, but Abmo, of course, with the warmer tires, is he gonna attack? He really needs to attack now, Abmo, if he wishes to keep Benny behind, as he's got the tire advantage. And the dirty air, especially at a track like this, is lethal for the softer compounded tires, but seemingly Benny is keeping Abmo nicely behind. And once the mediums come alive at the end of the lap, Benny should be off like a rocket. Summit now, trying to pass O'Leary. O'Leary let him past. Was there a moment of some sort? Because it looked like Jay O'Leary was there on the inside line, right in the way of Summit. And Jay O'Leary comes in. There has been a yellow flag, and that's closing the wall. There might have been a contact or a spin of some sort. That's a very weird place to end up in a wall too. As Pasty, the next driver, penalized. Jay O'Leary now into the pits, and onto the medium tire he goes. Behind Pasty in 12th, but with the tire advantage, still 13 laps to go. So Abmo has managed to stay behind Benny within DRS range. But does he have enough with the harder compound tires? Claw's race is just going from really bad to even worse. Pointer still soldiering it out in P3 with the 19 lap old hard tires. Probably screaming in agony at this point. Maybe he's betting it for the safety car. And for a free pit stop. And he's still gambling on the old tire. Benny behind is gonna easily take the move there, as there has been yellow flags in sector 1, and that's Claus, I believe. I got started now a bit, as a Ferrari was very close to Mercedes. I was for sure Summit had closed the gap, but no, X-Robin with a 5.5 second comfortable lead. As Abmo now has to deal with pointers, and should do that relatively quickly if he wishes to have any chance on Benny. Usichi, we haven't seen much of him in the race apart from that 5-car battle, of course. Trying to chase down Grona, who's flashing. As Abmo has made the move past pointers under DRS. No issues there, but he has lost the DRS on the car ahead, so Benny is now off, and with the tire advantage, if he can really get that Alpine going, he could contest for Summit even, because of the much newer and much faster medium tires. Let's see how that develops. Here's Twitchy now. Opens up DRS. It should have the DRS advantage. We saw Grona flashing, remember? And he is yet again. Grona takes the defensive line. Tichy on the outside. Grona breaks a bit later and is able to retain his place for now. As the other Red Bull of Charizard is also here trying to attack Major. But nothing major just yet. So this would seem to be the only real battle right now. with the gaps being over 2 seconds all around the field. It's been 23 laps now and I don't see a chance of rain looking to the sky. Of course the drivers have the latest of the information, but still. Spointers has finally ended his mighty 21 lap stint, seemingly without a puncture, but is now gonna drop way back, deciding to pit extremely late, as here's Tichy on Grone. Grone goes defensive on the outside, and Tichy has to slam the brakes. A bit naughty defending from Grone here. On multiple occasions. Black Charizard has made it past Major. And Pointer seemingly rejoining in 11th, behind of his teammate. Of course with 7.5 second gap, so that's what this... That's there you can see what you can lose in if you decide to stay out for too long on the old tires. Undercut is so powerful in this game, as here's Major trying to look for a way past Charizard. Really close behind. Let's see if he can think of a move on the back straight, but not yet. Summit has closed down the gap, by the way. It used to be 5.5 seconds, but now it's only down to 4. Maybe Robin trying to save ERS fuel, or just trying to keep close lapped, as he has managed to unlap himself. As finally Tichy has made the move past Grone, sorry that I missed that. And so has Major on Charizard, with Jay O'Leary now trying to chase back. As Pasty has retired, and that is a safety car. Safety car this late. And this is a whole new twist to the tale at the Spanish Grand Prix here in Tier 3. In Aero League Racing. Very interesting to see what the drivers are gonna do with the tires now. Benny gets the gap off Summit. No, Colin, it was Easter who won in France. Klaus had a year of penalties. As into the pits comes Robin. Will Summit follow suit, or will he think of better of it? No, Summit will follow him into the pits, and so does Benny. So everyone is probably gonna pour into the pits now to look at what might even be the soft tires. Robin opts for the mediums. Summit, very bold move, goes onto the softs. He needs to be extremely careful here, warming them up. So everyone but Robin onto the soft tire. And Robin, the only car with the medium tires, out in the lead. He really needs to get everything, harvest everything from his power against much faster soft tires. But let's remember, softs will not be good, especially at a physical track like this. They're not gonna be good for more than, I'd say, maybe 6-7 laps. But how long will the safety car be out for? Is that enough for the drivers who have picked the soft tires? As Jay O'Leary, the only car to stay out, is now up in 5th and should pretty comfortably take those tires to the end. In what shape, that we will only find out. So it's gonna be a sprint to the flag, and Klaus, luckily for him, he managed to unlap himself, but really should have pitted for a new set of mediums or softs here. As now the 5-lap-old softs should not take him to the end, I don't believe. Or at least they will be in absolutely atrocious shape. So a brief safety car period here, and Pasty has really not have done his team any favors, as Robin was looking to cruise on a comfortable victory, but now has to really fight for it. And suddenly I think it's Summit who is looking the strongest to win here in Spain, if the soft tires comfortably go to the end. Because I've noticed that in this new game the drop-off of the tires is way larger than it used to be. Let's see the track limit warnings real quick. So multiple for, well, mostly Klaus and Pasty, but Summit has at least one. Robin also has one. So one warning each for the lead pair, so track limit penalties should not play a factor here. Unless there's a mistake or multiple for the drivers here. As the pack is bunched up together, there will be 6 racing laps. And that would bring the total of the soft runners to 7 laps. Sorry, 8. Because at the end of this lap. The softs might just be the right call. As there it is, the notification, the safety car will enter the pits. And we're once again gonna pull the telemetry data here to see when Robin decides to go extremely slow here on the restart. He's really waiting for the safety car to enter the pit lane so that he gets to decide when the racing will be resumed. I think he might be doing it after this corner. Let's see that green bar at the bottom right. That is, I think he has went, yes. And Summit has pretty well managed to stay behind of him. And so is Benny and Abmo, but Jay O'Leary has left a bit. Osvaldo Romeo looking for a move right away. And Osvaldo to the inside on Jay O'Leary. He's able to make it work. And Tichi Boom and Grone still going at it, with Tichi being seemingly the victorious. But Grone has the inside line going into turn 4. But Grone isn't going for an attack. Oh, and wide goes Tichi! And loses a whole heap of positions, and now with sand on his tires, is all the way to the back. Really unfortunate mistake. And with the medium tires, it's going to be difficult to stay with the soft runners. As Osvaldo has dropped down a bit from Abmo, which Jay O'Leary is still staying behind of him, with Grone not far behind. Grone real aggressive, trying to make the move past Jay O'Leary, who has a bit older tires. They go around the final corner. And Jay O'Leary now on defense against Grone on the Red Bull. Deploys a whole heap of ERS and is able to keep him behind once Pointers has made it past Major to go 8th. Major also has a track limit penalty, so there probably won't be much points on offer for him, as Jay O'Leary has had to be bent to Grone there at the end. The new rubber against the older one. A Summit has dropped down off of Robin's ERS, and interestingly the softs are going to deteriorate very quickly, overheat even if the driver has selected too high tire pressures. Robin just might be able to hang this through. As when they cross the line, there will be 5 laps remaining in the Spanish Grand Prix here. DRS comes alive, but crucially, Abmo, the only driver to be within range of the top 4. And Benny deploying a whole heap of ERS to try and catch on the Summit. But Robin, despite the harder rubber, has managed to create a 1.5 second lead. Will that be enough? We will see very soon, as Major and Pointers here are going at it for P8. And Pointers also looking to pass his teammate. With the old little tires of Jay O'Leary, he should really consider letting his teammate pass, but under DRS so they can do it safely. Major having a bit of a moment there. Nothing too serious. Looking at the gaps of the lead. To the top of the table, Summit just missing out on DRS this lap. Neither of the drivers really deploying their ERS except for Summit. Really should, because Benny is not that far behind. Really needs to be careful, as here's Pointers on his teammate O'Leary. Will Major follow? His teammate brakes later. Side by side the two drivers go, but Pointers up to P7. Now Jay O'Leary has dropped 3 positions after the safety car restart with the old tires. But the Williams pairing are both looking strong to finish on the points. Let's see, the gaps have widened up a bit. Benny has managed to get within DRS of Summit, with some ERS still remaining. Opens up the DRS, but the back straight is just way too short for anything. If Benny can keep it together around the final sector here, he might be looking to challenge Summit, as he will get the DRS for the long main straight. A bit of a mistake there on the final corner, but DRS should cover for that. It is so powerful, this game. Summit has had to deploy his ERS and still not any closer to ex-Robin. Robin still, despite the harder rubber, is looking to be in control of this. As there is rain, there crucially is rain, with 3 laps remaining. It has started to rain, and let's see if the conditions will deteriorate as rapidly as they did in qualifying. If so, there might be a whole set of incidents. Is it faster to pit onto the inter tire, or is it faster to just brave out the conditions and go to the end, as Benny is now really close to Summit? Just 3/10 separating the two drivers. Benny goes a bit wide, but nothing too serious. DRS is still available, but once the stewards disable it, from that you do know that it is way too wet to race the slick tires. As Benny now really looking to challenge for P2. Is Summit's good race gonna dry down for a few drops of water? Summit now out of ERS. Benny opens up DRS and deploys all of his ERS, and Benny Bano is up to P2 past Summit, who clearly is struggling in these damp conditions. DRS still available. Interestingly, there might be all sorts of stuff happening, as there's now only 2 laps to the flag, and Summit is definitely not gonna give it up without a fight. Teichi, by the way, has managed to climb back onto the points past Charizard and Claus, but with the gaps being so small as they are, Major is probably gonna fall off of there. Drivers really have to take it careful now in order for they don't want for the whole race to end up down the drain. Osvaldo now trying to chase Abmo, with 4:10 separating the two. DRS is still available and will be going on to the final lap, I believe. Osvaldo now really close to Abmo, but the driver's got to be extremely careful to put the power down. Summit has had a moment, and it will not be able to open up DRS, as there's yellow flags, and that is close to Charizard, but where he got more exciting battles here, as Osvaldo on the final lap is able to squeeze past Abmo, but they still gotta navigate through that tricky final lap in the damp conditions. Abmo really not giving up without a fight, but the soft tires are probably starting to die at this point. There's been yellow flags at that Scrona with the slippery rear end. When the conditions get more slippery, has an unfortunate spin and is all the way down to P10. And with damage, the Red Bull simply unable to turn. All sorts of happening going across the track. As Benny is not able to close down to Robin, who is masterfully gonna win here, unless there's something extremely dramatic. Around the final sector we go now. Robin with the 1.7 gap has to be really careful and just nurse it home in these damp conditions. And here's X-Robin on his comeback race. A pole and a win with Benny Bono with the last lap overtake takes second. Summit third after a fine race. Osvaldo also with the last lap move on Abmo is able to take fourth. And Abmo unlucky in fifth. The Williams pairing nicely take home P6 and P7 with Jay O'Leary staying out. After the safety car period, Tichu in 8th. Major is able to take points in the end. Wow. The moment I was thinking there will be no rain going towards the end of the race. The game throws a curveball. But Robin, in his comeback race, is able to take the win. Thank God we don't have to listen to the Dutch national anthem. Nothing against the song per se, but, you know, in real life Formula 1 we have to listen to it all the time, so luckily now we get to skip it. And move on to the final finishing standings. X-Robin with a masterful drive takes home the pole and the win. With Benny Bono, with a very nice drive, is able to come home second from 8th in the grid. Summit wasn't able to really make the most of the damp condition and falls behind Benny and was looking pretty close on Osvaldo, who has managed to claw his way back from 12th, qualifying 12th, to finish 4th with nice points for Alpine team. Abmo with a good drive as well, just didn't have what it takes to finish ahead of Osvaldo in the end, but is able to take home 5th. Nice race from the Williams pairing with Pointers and Jay O'Leary 6th and 7th respectively. Tichy, despite the earlier spin, comes home 8th. Major in 6th after 9th after a bit of a disappointment with the track limit penalty and whatnot. Krone still takes home the final point after that unfortunate spin. And Klaus really needs to work on his track limits. That's what I'm gonna say. Alright. Next time we will have a completely new track. A one that ALR has never raced before. That's gonna be the Las Vegas Street Circuit. 350 kph down the Sunset Strip. DRS wide open. Let's see what kind of racing will that track bring. But that'll do it for Tier 3 tonight. Thanks for joining us. My name is Allu. And have the best night. Bye bye.